Imagine for a moment that success is not something distant or out of reach, but something already drawn to you, waiting patiently for you to become the person worthy of it. Think about the people you admire most, those who seem to walk through life with a quiet confidence and effortless grace. Have you ever wondered why success seems to follow them like a shadow? What if I told you that success is not a matter of luck, connections, or even talent alone? What if success is attracted to certain qualities within us? Qualities that anyone can develop with intention and courage. Today we will explore what it truly means to become the kind of person who does not have to chase success because success is naturally drawn to them. It's about more than just skills or achievements. It's about building a foundation so strong that opportunities, relationships, and blessings cannot help but come your way. It's about cultivating character, purpose, discipline, humility, faith, and a heart to serve. This is an invitation to stop waiting for success to find you and instead become the person who attracts it wherever you go. The journey is not easy, but it is simple in its truth. And the rewards are far greater than most realize. Let's begin this journey together. Character before credentials means that who you are matters more than what you've accomplished. In a world that constantly celebrates achievements, titles, and external success, it's easy to believe that credentials are the key to unlocking opportunity. But history, experience, and even quiet observation teach us something far more profound. True success, lasting success, is drawn to character first. You can have a degree from the most prestigious institution. You can have years of experience, glowing endorsements, and a resume that reads like a bestseller. But if people can't trust you, if they sense arrogance instead of authenticity, then doors will quietly close. Because behind every job, every deal, every opportunity, there is a human heart. And human hearts are drawn not to perfection, but to integrity. Character is who you are when no one's watching. It's not what you post or say when the spotlight is on. It's how you treat people who can do nothing for you. It's your willingness to admit when you're wrong, your consistency in keeping promises, your refusal to cut corners when no one would notice if you did. These are the invisible threads that weave a reputation worth trusting. We live in a society that often teaches us to polish our image while ignoring our foundation. But image fades. Accolades gather dust. Titles change. What remains is the memory people have of how you made them feel. Were you kind? Were you honest? Were you fair when it was costly? That's character. And that's what success notices. There are people with fewer qualifications but better reputations who rise higher than the most decorated experts. Why? Because character builds bridges credentials cannot cross. It earns loyalty, it opens hearts, it invites collaboration. Credentials might get you in the room, but character determines whether you're invited to stay. The beauty of this truth is that character is not limited by background, finances, or opportunity. You don't need to be born into privilege to walk in integrity. You don't need a diploma to be dependable. You don't need a title to be kind. Character is built choice by choice, day by day, over time. And here's the mystery many overlook. When you focus on character, success often follows quietly behind. It may not come as fast, but it comes deeper, more solid, more rooted, because you've become the kind of person success trusts. So while others chase credentials as the ultimate measure of worth, choose the higher road. Build yourself from the inside out. Let your word mean something. Let your actions be stronger than your promises. Let your legacy be one of trust, not just talent. Because the world doesn't just need more qualified people, it needs more trustworthy ones. And that's the kind of person success is always looking for. Purpose fuels progress. Without a clear sense of purpose, even the most talented person can feel lost, directionless, or stuck in cycles that lead nowhere. Purpose is the inner compass that tells you not just where to go, but why you're going there. It breathes life into your goals and turns daily effort into something meaningful. Many people chase success for the sake of status, wealth, or approval, but those who attract success don't run blindly after results. They live with purpose. Purpose is the deep why behind your actions. It is what gets you up when everything else tells you to stay down. It's what drives consistency when motivation fades. People who have a sense of purpose walk with a different kind of energy. They don't waste time trying to be everything to everyone. They know who they are, and they're willing to pay the price for becoming who they were meant to be. Purpose simplifies life. When you have it, you don't need 100 different paths to feel fulfilled. One path, walked faithfully, can give you more impact than a lifetime of scattered efforts. And when people see that clarity in you, when they notice the quiet fire behind your actions, they are drawn to it. Opportunities begin to align with your direction. The right people come into your life not by accident, but because your purpose acts like a signal. It tells the world who you are and where you're going. Success is often the result of staying true to a mission, even when it's hard. Many quit not because they're incapable, but because they lack purpose. They lack that inner conviction that tells them, this matters, don't stop. But with purpose, setbacks become lessons, and delays become seasons, not dead ends. A person with purpose can endure storms others can't because they're anchored in meaning, not just outcome. You don't find your purpose overnight. It's discovered in reflection, prayer, experience, and a willingness to listen to the deeper call inside you. Often it's found in what breaks your heart or what lights you up. It might be serving others, solving a problem, creating something that outlasts you. But once you find it, you must protect it. You must live for it, even when it doesn't make sense to those around you. Purpose doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers. But if you follow it faithfully, it becomes the fuel that turns ordinary lives into extraordinary legacies. It gives you a reason to rise and a reason to keep moving forward. The person who attracts success is not the one chasing everything, but the one chasing the right thing with all their heart. So ask yourself often, why am I doing this? When your answer comes from a place of purpose, your progress won't just be measured in miles, but in meaning. And that is a kind of success the world can't ignore. Discipline is the daily doorway to success. It is the quiet force that shapes who you become when the spotlight is off and no one is clapping. While talent may open the door and ambition might give you a head start, it is discipline that carries you across the finish line. Every person who has achieved anything of lasting worth has learned to value discipline not as a burden, but as a blessing. Discipline is not dramatic. It's not flashy. It rarely feels good in the moment, but it is powerful. It is the decision to show up again and again when you don't feel like it, when progress seems slow, when no one is watching or applauding. It is waking up early to grow, staying late to learn, saying no to distractions that promise comfort but rob you of your calling. Most people want success, but few want the daily grind that success requires. They want the reward, not the routine. But there is no shortcut to greatness. The world often celebrates sudden breakthroughs, but what it doesn't see are the years of preparation, the private sacrifices, and the daily choices that made those moments possible. Discipline builds habits, and habits build futures. The most successful people aren't always the most gifted. They are the ones who've trained their minds and bodies to do what needs to be done, especially when they don't feel like doing it. They've mastered the art of choosing growth over comfort, progress over excuses, excellence over ease. Every great athlete, leader, artist, or thinker has walked through the same doorway of discipline. They have understood that consistency beats intensity over time. Discipline is also what keeps you grounded when success begins to come. It keeps pride in check. It keeps you focused on what matters. Without it, success can become your downfall. But with it, success becomes sustainable. It allows you to stay sharp, Stay humble and stay aligned with your values. And here's something few realize: discipline leads to freedom. It may seem like a restriction at first, but in time it creates space for real joy, real focus, and real fulfillment. The person who is disciplined with their time, their thoughts, their actions, and their goals lives a life that is not ruled by emotion or impulse. They are free to lead, free to grow, and free to serve others without chaos or burnout. You won't always feel motivated, but you can always choose discipline. It is the muscle that strengthens every other part of your life. And like a muscle, it grows stronger every time you use it. So if you want to attract success, don't just dream bigger, discipline deeper. Wake up with purpose, work with intention, keep your word, especially to yourself. Because when you walk through the doorway of discipline day after day, you become the kind of person success can trust. Not just once, but again and again. Humility honors you. In a world that often rewards loud voices, big egos, and self-promotion, humility might seem like weakness, but in truth, it is one of the most powerful qualities a person can possess. Humility doesn't mean thinking less of yourself. It means thinking of yourself less. It is the quiet confidence that allows you to lift others without losing your place. It's the strength to admit you don't know everything and the wisdom to learn from anyone, anywhere. Success is not attracted to arrogance. It may flirt with it for a season, but eventually pride repels what humility sustains. People are naturally drawn to those who are grounded, who carry their gifts with grace rather than with a need for applause. When you walk in humility, you make room for trust, connection, and real influence. You invite people in rather than pushing them away, and in doing so, you create an atmosphere where success can grow, not just for you, but for everyone around you. Humility opens doors that pride would never notice. It listens when others speak. It learns when others boast. It acknowledges the efforts of the team rather than stealing the credit. It says, "How can I help?" instead of "look at me." That posture builds relationships, and in the end, success is not just about what you know or even what you do. It's about who you work with and who believes in you. Humble people become magnets for support, for mentorship, and for lasting partnerships. Humility also protects you from the dangers of success, because the truth is, the higher you rise, the more tempting it becomes to believe your own press, to stop growing, to think you are above correction. But humility keeps you teachable. It reminds you that every strength is a gift and every win is a result of many factors, not just your own effort. It keeps your heart open, your mind sharp, and your feet on the ground. And here's something even deeper. Humility doesn't weaken your authority, it strengthens it. People follow those they respect, but they remain loyal to those they trust. And trust is born not out of perfection, but out of authenticity. A humble leader, a humble friend, a humble worker. These are the ones who leave a mark that lasts beyond applause. You don't need to shout your worth when you know it. You don't have to compete when you're secure. You don't have to prove yourself when your life already speaks. That's humility, and it speaks louder than pride ever could. So, if you want to attract success, let humility guide your steps. Celebrate others, own your mistakes, stay hungry to learn, refuse to see yourself as above anyone, because humility honors you in ways that titles never will. It raises you up by helping you stay grounded, and it draws success not to the version of you that performs, but to the real you that leads with grace. Faith in the unseen is one of the most powerful forces behind lasting success. It is the ability to keep going when nothing around you gives you a reason to. It's believing that your effort matters, even when the results are not yet visible. Faith is what anchors you when the road is long, the answers are unclear, and the path ahead is covered in fog. It's not based on what you see, it's based on what you know in your heart to be true. The people who attract success are not always the ones with the clearest plans or the smoothest paths. Often, they're the ones who dare to keep moving when the path doesn't make sense. They trust that every step has meaning, even if the map hasn't been fully drawn. Faith tells you that the seed you planted in silence will grow in time, even if the soil looks dry right now. It gives you the courage to keep sowing, to keep building, to keep showing up, because you believe something greater is taking shape. Without faith, doubt takes over, and doubt will paralyze potential. It'll make you stop just short of a breakthrough. It will convince you to play small when greatness is calling. But faith says, there's more ahead. Keep walking. It reminds you that purpose doesn't disappear just because progress feels slow. Faith allows you to walk in expectation instead of fear. It gives you strength that circumstances cannot take away. Faith doesn't ignore reality. It simply doesn't let reality define your limits. It's not blind optimism, it's anchored confidence. It's knowing that you were created for more, even if the world hasn't seen it yet. People who live with this kind of faith carry something within them that draws others in. Their conviction is contagious. Their resilience is inspiring. And success is drawn to that energy because it recognizes someone who is willing to believe in more than just what is seen. Faith also teaches you to trust in timing. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is wait. But faith sees waiting not as wasting, but as preparation. It reminds you that delays are not denials, and that patience often produces better outcomes than speed. When you live by faith, you learn to walk in peace even when the pace of progress is slower than expected. And perhaps most importantly, faith keeps your identity secure. It tells you that your worth isn't measured by the opinions of others or the highs and lows of life, that you are valuable, called, and capable even on your worst days. And when you carry yourself with that kind of quiet confidence, success finds you. Not because you forced it, but because you were faithful. So keep believing even when the evidence hasn't arrived. Keep moving even when the way isn't clear, because faith in the unseen is the spark that lights the fire of every great story, and success always comes looking for those who never stop believing. Serve before you shine. In a world that celebrates spotlight and status, this principle may seem upside down, but it is the foundation of real, lasting success. The people who attract success are not those who chase fame or fight to be first, but those who lead with a heart to serve. Service isn't weakness, it's not small. It is one of the most powerful forces in the world, because when you serve, you plant seeds that grow far beyond you, and those seeds have a way of returning, multiplied. To serve is to say, it's not about me. It's choosing to lift others even when no one is watching. It's doing what needs to be done, not for credit, but for impact. Success is naturally drawn to people like this, people who care more about making a difference than being noticed. Why? Because service builds trust, and trust is the currency of influence. Some of the most successful leaders in history weren't just visionaries, they were servants. They earned respect not by demanding it, but by giving their time, their energy, their heart. When you serve others, you understand their struggles. You develop empathy, insight, and wisdom. You build relationships that no title can guarantee. And those relationships become the bridge to real influence. Service also shapes your character. It humbles you. It teaches you that greatness isn't found in being above others, but in being there for others. And when success comes to someone with a servant's heart, it doesn't puff them up, it pours out through them. That kind of success multiplies because it's not self-centered. It lifts families, teams, and communities. In practical terms, this means showing up early when others show up late. It means asking, how can I help, instead of what's in it for me? It's being willing to do the small tasks with the same excellence you'd bring to the big ones. It's helping your team win, even if you don't get the credit. That's the kind of attitude that success notices. Serving doesn't mean you never lead. It means you lead from a different place. You lead with open hands, not clenched fists. You lead not for power, but for purpose. And ironically, when you serve well, you often end up shining without trying. People remember those who helped them. They follow those who lifted them. They support those who stood beside them when it was hard. The truth is, success that comes from self-promotion is shallow and short-lived, but success that grows from service is deep, strong, and sustainable. It's not built on performance, it's built on people, and people follow those who serve. So if you want to attract success, don't chase the stage, find the towel. Don't demand the crown, carry the weight. Because when you serve before you shine, you build a legacy that lasts. And that's the kind of success worth living for. Success does not come merely to those who wait or wish. It comes to those who become the kind of person it cannot ignore. When you build your life on character instead of credentials, when you walk with purpose instead of chasing applause, when you choose discipline over distraction and humility over pride, you begin to carry a power far greater than talent alone. When you hold to faith in what you cannot yet see and live to serve rather than to shine, you become not by noise, but by presence, not by striving, but by being. The world is not waiting for the next flashy star. It is longing for steady, trustworthy, purpose-driven people who bring light by the way they live. You can be that person. You can rise without stepping on others. You can lead with grace and live with strength. And when you do, success will find you, not just for a season, but for a lifetime. So go forward, walk boldly, live faithfully, build quietly, and trust that the path of integrity always leads to something greater than you imagined. Good luck as you step into your journey. Believe in what's possible. Keep your heart clean, your hands open, and your spirit strong. Thank you for listening, and may your life not just chase success, but attract it. Success comes not to those who simply desire it, but to those who grow into the person success seeks. When you build your life on strong character instead of just achievements, pursue purpose instead of empty goals, embrace discipline instead of shortcuts, and choose humility over pride, you develop a magnetic power that draws success naturally. Holding on to faith in what is yet unseen and living a life of service before seeking recognition shapes a presence that cannot be ignored. The world does not need more people chasing fame. It needs more people who lead with integrity, serve with kindness, and live with meaning. You have the ability to be that person. You can rise by lifting others, lead with grace, and walk a path that honors who you truly are. When you do this, success will come, not just briefly, but lasting and true. Step forward with confidence and faith. Keep your heart open, your actions purposeful, and your spirit determined. Your journey toward becoming the person who attracts success has already begun. Good luck as you walk this path. May you find strength in your convictions and joy in your progress. Thank you for listening, and may your life draw to you the success you are becoming.